Skull, the Mask, directed by Armando Francesco. Armando Francesca, I think that's it, is a Brazilian movie featuring a really cool monster. So it's a mask that is involved in a demonic ceremony, and it latches onto a host and then gives them the strength to commit horrific acts of violence. The movie's okay. I think my biggest issues with this movie is that its pacing is pretty not good. Pretty not good. I felt really bored a lot of the movie, and it's not because it had subtitles and was a foreign film. I love foreign films. I just was watching it and was thinking to myself, none of these characters are very interesting, and the ones that have potential to be interesting aren't focused on enough. So I think that that's a sign that there was too many characters in this movie, and I wish that they had just narrowed their focus. And if your characters aren't that interesting, you better hope that everything else around the characters is satisfactory, at least to be a passable film. And the soundtrack was completely forgettable. I think sometimes music can be the glue that holds everything together, and if the music is complementing what's going on screen well enough, then it can engage you. The special effects were a lot of fun. They were awesome. I thought that the gore was really well done and cool. I thought that the creature design and the mask design was great. I loved how kind of weird and off the wall the opening of the movie is. And that's about it. It's not terrible. It's just like, it's hard to sound positive when you're talking about mediocrity. Like, it's not bad. Like, I've seen way worse. Like, there's terrible movies out there, and movies that bother me, and movies that I don't like. This movie wasn't that. It just didn't blow me away. I found it kind of middle of the road. With great special effects and a few other like small little tidbits that are like reverse nitpicks, things that I liked. What is the opposite of a nitpick? I was about to say titpick. No, so it's not bad. It's just I don't think it's that worthwhile unless you're really interested in good special effects and trying to knock off as many countries as you can on your Letterboxd map. So Skull, the Mask. Not an awful movie, a mediocre movie with really good special effects. Lackluster characters who I think, could have been fleshed out and more interesting, but they couldn't focus on somebody for long enough to make that happen. A completely, I would say, non-existent soundtrack. The music's just, bleh. I didn't even think about it. And visually cheap, low-budget film. I try not to be too harsh on picture quality and stuff, but like it looks like they almost did like no color correction or anything. It's just very not quite raw, but like a step above raw. Like the first pass of color correction was done and they're like, oh, that's good enough. So yeah, it's a fucking whatever movie. It's not the worst, it's not the best. I'm gonna give Skull the Mask a 5.5 masks out of 10.